Picture this. Millions of viewers suddenly losing access to beloved shows and live news because of a heated corporate battle. That's the shocking reality unfolding for YouTube TV subscribers, and it's sparking outrage from one of the industry's big players. But here's where it gets controversial. Is this a fair fight? Or is it time to question who really controls what we watch? Chris Ripley, the head of Sinclair Broadcast Group, isn't holding back his frustration. During a recent earnings call for the summer quarter of 2025, he zeroed in on the ongoing blackout that has stripped about 10 million YouTube TV users of ABC programming. In fact, Ripley was so fixated on this issue that he barely touched on another hot topic, the temporary halt of Jimmy Kimmel Live that he oversaw in September. For those new to this, blackouts happen when streaming platforms like YouTube TV and TV networks like Disney's ABC can't agree on business terms, leading to viewers being left in the dark. Ripley's core argument is that local broadcasters like Sinclair are being sidelined in these disputes. As local broadcasters, we have zero influence over whether our content, the stuff we pay to produce and air, reaches local audiences, he explained. He points out that this wasn't what the Communications Act of 1934 had in mind. For beginners, think of the Communications Act as a foundational law from the early 20th century that set rules for how radio and television signals cross state lines. It established the Federal Communications Commission, FCC, the government body that oversees broadcast networks, including ABC, which is owned by Disney. These clashes over carriage fees, essentially the payments streaming services make to networks for the right to carry their channels, are nothing new. Just recently, YouTube TV settled a similar dispute with NBC Universal, highlighting how these negotiations can tilt the balance of power in the media landscape. Ripley warns that such standoffs damage not just viewers, but the broader ecosystem of local journalism. Imagine relying on your local ABC affiliate for breaking news or sports updates, only to find it vanished from your streaming lineup. That's the disruption he's highlighting. What really fires Ripley up is the idea that his ABC affiliates should keep broadcasting their content, especially news and sports, to YouTube TV users, no matter what Disney decides. Or at least they could ask first, he suggests with a touch of exasperation. To push this point, Ripley has already reached out to the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, and antitrust authorities. Plus, the FCC has launched an investigation into what he calls hurtful network affiliation practices. For those unfamiliar, antitrust laws prevent big companies from unfairly dominating markets, and Ripley sees Disney as potentially overstepping by controlling access to its channels. The CEO doesn't mince words. Disney, ABC, and other networks shouldn't dictate to us whether we can share content with YouTube TV, Hulu, or Fubo, which, ironically, are now under Disney's umbrella too. This brings us to a potentially divisive point. Consumers are being squeezed, forced to subscribe to extra streaming services just to access content they've already paid for. Is this a smart business strategy or an unfair monopoly? Ripley believes it's the latter, and it raises eyebrows about corporate giants like Disney wielding too much influence. And this is the part most people miss, how these battles ripple out to everyday folks. For example, a family tuning in for a big sports event or local election coverage on ABC might find themselves scrambling for alternatives, perhaps even switching to cable or another platform just to avoid the void. It underscores a larger tension in the streaming world. As services consolidate, who wins, the viewers or the conglomerates? So where do you stand on this? Do you see Disney as a bully in the sandbox, unfairly blocking access to content? Or is this just the inevitable tug-of-war of capitalism, where networks have every right to protect their interests? And what about the role of regulators? Should they step in more aggressively to protect consumers? We'd love to hear your take. Drop your thoughts in the comments below and let's discuss. Agree or disagree, your opinion matters.